Hey, what's up, garden friends? Jeff here. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm great. Fantastic. It is a beautiful evening. I wish I had been able to get out here earlier to do some planting, but no luck because I had to run to Home Depot because my hard rake broke, so I had to get a new hard rake. And then while I was there, the sweet little lady needed help, and I ended up helping her for a long time. But long story short, it took me a long time to get home. But I did pick up some new plants. I need to get them in the ground. And it's mid-April right now. I don't think this video is going to be out until May, so I'm just going to be doing a few things here in the beginning, and then it's supposed to rain for like 10 days straight, which is why I want to get some things done right now, because this is the last day of no rain for a while. I want to go ahead and get some more perennials in the ground that I bought today. Didn't need to, but I got them because I wanted them. Then those will have a nice week and a half of rain to help settle them into place. Perfect time to get them in the ground. And then throughout this video, I want to start working on bringing some of the plants outside. I have, all the tropicals in there in the garage, and I would think that within about a week or so, which is when I'll pick up after all this is done, the weather should be looking good enough to start moving some of those out. I also like to wait for the trees to flush out so there's some shade, but I don't know, trees are pretty far behind right now, and I'm not seeing, where's my auger? I'm not seeing my auger. Oh, there's the auger. It's right there. Actually, I don't know if this will be in that video that doesn't come out for a while or not. I just realized when I was looking for the auger, my mic's right here. I keep starting the videos without putting my freaking mic on. It doesn't really matter, actually. The audio through this camera is fantastic without the microphone, as long as it's right next to my face. I'm trying to think, should this be part of the vlog, or should I just make a bonus video? No, because I have another video I need to film unboxing plants as soon as I'm done with this. That's not going to happen. We'll just start on the vlog. Well, let's come down here and talk about what we got for... Oh, first we're going to talk about what we got. What I got, what we have to work with out here this year. Look at this pygmy date palm. That's a nice looking Robellini. They had some that were a little bit bigger than this, but I went with this one because I really liked the curvature on the trunks. I think that's going to end up being a really fun looking palm as it grows up. The Robellinis, when they're this size, they can put on some good size fairly quickly. That was from Home Depot. It was $70, which is a good deal. I'm happy to see that palms are starting to come in at a better size than they were before. It's a banana. I had to dig with a big chunk of banana root to get that holly in the ground over there. For a few years, the demand was so high, 2020, and then forward, that it takes a long time for the growers to be able to catch up with stuff. So they're starting to catch up, and the plant's starting to be a decent size again. So what I have here are a whole bunch of hostas and a piece of board that I need to pick up. These were a great price. I think they're like $15, and there are some hostas that I've been wanting for a long time. Look at that leaf. Isn't that beautiful? The tricolor variegation, it's not that sharp yellow. It's a light green, a lighter green, and a darker green. And this is the Shadowlands Hudson Bay. 24-inch, so it's a decent-sized hosta. Not huge, but a decent size. Look at that. Look at the growth on that. Absolutely beautiful. Large mound, attractive tricolor leaves, heavy substance, bright blue margin, apple green, jetting creamy white center. We'll set this right apart from all these. Okay. Was hoping it would say something about the flower stalk size. It'd be nice if hostas would talk about that, because some hostas have really tall inflorescence and some don't. Some people don't even care for the flowers on the hostas, but I think they're nice. Sometimes they're fragrant. It'd be nice if they would label those things. So I just brought these home about an hour ago. They're already looking dry, and that's why I want to get them in the ground. So I thought that I had 6 of these beautiful Hudson Bay hostas, but I don't. 2 of these are something else, which I'm fine with because they're hostas that I wanted to plant. Anyways, these are Woolawas, and you can see there's a huge size difference. Massive. These get gigantic, and they have that variegated leaf on them. It's more of a long, narrow leaf, a really good texture to it. So I do need to figure out, before I get going here with planting these up, where exactly I want them to go. Because I was going to do a whole line of the Hudson Bays here. And I think it might look kind of weird to put the Hudson Bay and the Empress Woos right next to each other. But maybe not. I would just, I don't know. Not Empress Woo. Woolala. There's an Empress Woo over there. Now, I gotta think about that. Then I also, over here, have some beautiful new hollies. Not new, these have been around for me, haven't grown them. Chubby Hubby Japanese hollies. They're supposed to be a really nice, quick grower, great for screening. Look at that, look how dense it is. Really dense. They're a zone 6, 5 to 7 feet high, 3 to 4 feet wide, Shiny evergreen leaves, strong upright branches, wide oval habit. This fuller holly, suited for evergreen hedging, replacing boxwoods and other shrubs that are weak-stemmed or plagued by disease and insects. Like hollies don't come with their share of problems too, but I get what they're saying. And then, this is something I'm really excited about. I have been trying to get a hole dug over here on this side of the yard for years. There it is. Finally got one dug. It's like cement over here. I just had to pick and pick and pick. This took me like a week. Not really a week, but it took a long time. I can finally get something planted in that spot, and I have just the perfect plant for it. It just showed up not long ago. Not long ago, I mean like, I don't know, 2 hours ago in the mail. It's not that big, but you saw that hole. The hole's not very big anyway, so that doesn't matter. Look at that. Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? Here we go. Bamboo. A clumping bamboo. Gotta be considered the neighbors, right? It's the Fargesia rufa. This is about as hardy as it gets with the bamboos. They're good into zone 5. Some people report warmer parts of zone 4 even. So it's minus 15. That would be zone 5. They go 6 to 10 feet high and wide. The rufas tend to have a habit where they splay out an awful lot, so they come up and they droop down. I'm not nuts about that, but ultimately this is a privacy plant. And I have some more coming in the mail that I think are going to be bigger than this. But they're not that easy to find around here. I don't see them for sale that often. When I do, they're from Monrovia, and then they're, you know, like a couple $100 because, you know, Monrovia. And don't get me wrong, I love Monrovia, but the prices can just be outrageous. But what I've been debating is, do I want to put the bamboo in that corner, or should I put one of these chubby hubbies in there? Chubby hubby might be nice to have that in there, and I could put the bamboo, because this is the other spot where I was thinking about putting one, right here. If I didn't put a bamboo there, then I was going to put one of the hollies there. Texture wise, I think I prefer this right here. And then one of these chubby hubbies over here, like that. Yeah, and the hole's big enough. Yeah, okay, I mean, it'll look fantastic since it's crooked. I could do a bamboo in both spots, really. My only concern with the chubby hubby being over there is that it may not get quite enough sun. And I think that having something with that large round habit right there would be really, really nice looking. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta think about that. Not for too long though. These guys are thirsty. They need to get in the ground. Weird to be filming a video that's not gonna be out for another 3 weeks. Well, not really. I filmed a ton of videos back in October that still haven't been released. And that was, you know, what, 9 months ago? Not 9 months ago. That's not good math. You know what I mean? It was a while ago. There's one other. Where'd it go? Oh, yeah. Look at this. Look at the size of this Echeveria. Isn't that just beautiful? There's no name on it. It was on sale for this is $16.99 for this monster. Isn't it huge? It's normally $19.98. Home Depot's an Altman plant, 8-inch succulent. That's all it says. Oh, some kind of Echeveria. You know, I love my Echeverias. I love those giant rosette shapes and everything. That is just absolutely beautiful. So now I have two absolutely massive, gigantic Echeverias. Look at this. These are so big. Okay, yeah, I'm going to get the mic on so my audio's not going to be all over the place and figure out what I'm going to do down there. Or maybe I'll just come back and we'll just talk about it after I figured it out, because I'm losing light and I still got to film this video over here. That was fun. Excellent stuff here. I don't know if that video will have been out by the time this video comes out or not. Got a lot done in the last like 40 minutes. Had to get that unpacked. Like I said, we're supposed to have rain. It may not rain for a solid 10 days. There's a 50% chance of rain every day for a while, which means gotta get the stuff in the ground. So what I ended up doing was putting 2 of the Shadowland Hudson Bays over here. I think those are gonna look nice behind these lower mounding perennials over here. So Sarcococca over here, so it has that nice deep green evergreen. It's gonna be in front of that blue pot, that beautiful cobalt blue. And then we have this other nice Vietnamese pot over here. Good shade of blue. I don't know, I like the way it looks. I also have the Petasites in here, Petasites, the butterburs. They tend to fizzle out early to midsummer, and I usually pull the ones that are out front because I'm trying to just let them grow around the back and up this hill. That's where I want them, but the ones that are up front, I tend to pull those, so I'm not really concerned about those coming in and strangling anything out, but I will have to stay on top of pulling them up. Empress Wu. That's where she ended up going. Just realized you don't know why I'm talking about Empress Wu right now. Well, I moved her. I mentioned Empress Wu was up here, and I had intended on buying another Empress Wu, and instead I accidentally bought two Wu. I don't know what happened. I got two Wu La's. So now, Wu La, I actually think I should probably scoot this one back another foot. I think would be a good idea because these get really big, and there's supposed to be a path right here. So now that I'm standing here thinking, this should go back another foot, maybe even 2 feet to right around here. That's going to fill in a big spot. But I think it's going to look great though, isn't it? Those big hostas flanking each side of the path here that needs new flagstones on it. I went ahead and I put the bamboo up here on the berm. I shouldn't move on yet. So the Woolala was right here. I pulled it, moved it over there. I'm sorry. Everything's so scatterbrained this time of year, trying to keep my head on straight. There it is now. Up at the top of the mound. It'll fill in the space very nicely. And I'll just have to make sure to pull the pedicites out from around it. In fact, it may not even have room right there. But I tried to put it about a foot or so back where it was more in that open section right behind it. It just wasn't happening. There are too many roots from this mimosa tree right here. So I was like, all right, well, that's just where you're going to have to go. It's a hosta, so I'm not all that concerned about it. I think it'll settle in there just fine, and I can adjust things around later if I need to. So, the bamboo. There it is. I really liked it right here. I did order it to put back there in that corner. But when I set it right here, I was just like, man, that looks so nice. Imagine with the hostas around it with the deep green background of those U's someday. That's going to look so good. And I'm not going to put the chubby hubby there. Like I mentioned, I have 2 more of these coming in the mail. So I'll put another one back there. And I'll just order one more so I have the other one for what I was going to do with it. That's stuff to talk about at another time. And I had gotten these for a different project, so it just makes sense to not put it over there in that corner. I would like to find something big. If I weren't to put a bamboo in that corner, I would want it to be the biggest thing I could find that would fit in that hole, because I just hate looking at that empty corner. It's always bugged me. So I wouldn't want to put the chubby hubby there. I also don't, that's a Japanese holly, so I don't think that it would get quite enough sun back there. It might this year and for a couple more years, but when the maple up here spreads out some more, it's a lot of shade. And I just don't think it'd be very happy there. It's a pretty exposed spot. It's a zone 6. I'm a 6B. I just don't think it would do well. I prefer my hollies near a structure, typically, or sheltered by a lot of other evergreens to help cut back on the wind, because they tend to get burned very easily during the winter time. Okay, is that everything? No, I had 3 of those Hudson Bays, and there just wasn't room to put all 3 of them in that spot. Now, I had taken the Empress Wu and planted it right here. And then I went over there and I planted the other Shadowland, the other Hudsons, that is, Hudson Bays, underneath the mimosa. And I was like, oh, no, I should put the Woolala up here. So I came over here and I pulled the Woolala out and I threw the other Hudson Bay in this spot. I think that's going to look nice. I'm about to move this, in a week or so. Need to move this, scoot it back, re-level it, and I don't know, that'll, I think, look better. The bird bath will be more like right here in this vicinity, so that'll come out, fill in this front area, and then have a bunch of little May apples, a really short kind, that'll be going up in front of it, or maybe over here somewhere. I haven't fully decided on that, but yeah, I think that's going to look nice. Now, this is the new garden bed, so it still has a lot of filling in to do. Okay, and that concludes getting all the perennials planted. That's everything that I needed to get planted for right now. Anyways, and we can move on, and we'll be focusing on moving plants outside at some point in the next several days. What you sniffing on? So many fun things to smell. Do you all remember this space? Haven't been out here in a while. It's only April 16th, but I'm gonna move some stuff out. It's time. I looked at the extended forecast, which, you know, is kind of shaky. There are 2 nights where it might get down to 49. Otherwise, most of the lows are gonna be in the 50s and 60s. We have a good week to week and a half of overcast coming up, which I'm pretty sure I talked about just a moment ago when I was planting up those hostas and the other things. And we have a little blip of overcast. It stopped raining for a little while, and I was like, I want to get outside, and it's raining, so it's a good time to move things out. It's nice and cloudy. Nice and cloudy. Why I said like it was a question. It's not. Oh, I guess because maybe it's not that cloudy. Well, you know what I mean. Overcast. I was just talking about in that other clip about how it can be hard moving things out when the trees haven't flushed out because I don't have as much shade. Which is something I struggle with every year. That's just the case up until mid-May. I don't know my ass and wait until mid-May to move the plants out. And it is difficult for me. I struggle with maintaining everything in here and out there at the same time. I'm just not good at it. So I may as well go ahead and just start to move some things out so that there's less to maintain in here. The more tropical, cold sensitive guys like the Dracaena over here, they'll stay in. This is the heat lover, so it can wait. And actually, when I move this out, first thing I need to do is repot it. So it's staying until I can repot it. Same thing with this hibiscus back here, which is just on the struggle bus because it's so hard keeping it hydrated. I repotted it last year, but I think this is one of those plants where it needs a repot every single spring. Just, you know, maybe even a root prune or something. I don't really know, but it's thirsty. It's a very thirsty plant. That will stay in. Coconuts, they're not coming out, but they probably could. Probably not that guy. I want to, but I'm going to let it wait. The Eureka, I'm going to let wait just for another week or two. Mostly just because it's really thirsty. I need to give it a heavy water, and I don't want to move it out when it's thirsty, and I don't want to move it out when it's been freshly watered. I'm going to move the mule palms out right now, which they're going to look like crap by the time I get them outside. The thing with these mule palms is they sit in here without much airflow. I mean, I have fans and everything. There's only so much you can do when they're pressed up into these rafter areas, or whatever these things are called, the rails. And then you get them outside in the natural airflow and they just go blech, and they always drop their fronds and look terrible for a few weeks. And I'm okay with that because these are going to get a repot soon. I had to place an order for some potting mix, which won't be here until the middle of next week. As soon as that comes in, these guys are getting a repot. And I'm not actually going, this is going to be very upsetting to some people. Y'all aren't going to like this. I've done it many times and it's always been okay. They get a root prune and they get potted back in the same container with a fresh mix. It's not a heavy prune. It's just enough to like a shave on the outside of the root ball with some fresh soil on the inside. I had these potted up in a Spoma potting mix, which was something I used a lot of back in 2020 and 2021. And I learned that I just don't like that mix. It's not a bad mix. It just wasn't working for me and my gardening style. I learned that when I use that mix to get growth out of the plants, I have to fertilize constantly. And I don't want to fertilize constantly. I want to have a nice organically rich soil, which that is organically rich, but I don't know. My stuff just doesn't grow in it. And I had trouble keeping it hydrated through drip, so I stopped using it. And these are still in that Espoma mix, and I do think that when I get them unpotted, cleaned up, and into a fresh mix, that they should flush out with nice new growth. The mule palms have always responded very, very, very well to having their roots trimmed back and being repotted. I know that's a weird thing to say, but they don't seem to mind it. I'm not going to go as far to say that they like it. That would be ridiculous, but I get a lot of growth out of them whenever I do it. So they had that going for them. So I'm going to move these two out, and then just a few other things. Most of them I've actually already moved out, and we'll walk around and talk about them. Found a spot. Shadier spot. It's going to get bright morning sun, but I mean, it's like 11 right now, and it's getting shade because there's the sun. It's over there. So even though there aren't any leaves on those trees, they're still big enough that they're doing something. So I went ahead and what I've decided is to pull out the problematic plants. I found a patch, like a 4 foot by maybe 6 foot area in the grow space where everything was infested with mealybugs. I had wondered, I was like, this is odd. I haven't seen mealybugs this year. They were hiding in the corner. So I have been doing a thing here. I laid everything down. That way you can get the undersides of the leaves. That's where most of the mealybugs are. And I hit them with Neem Max, rolled them over, hit the other side with Neem Max. I did that like a quarter turn. Really got in there. Made sure to pull these and spread them apart while I was in there spraying. And then I let that sit for 15 minutes. This guy had some mealybugs, and it's this one I was talking about. Look at how as soon as I bring them out, they just go bleh. Which, you know, whatever. That's just their personality. Washingtonias do that to me too. Look how much trunk we're starting to get on this guy. That's pretty cool. More of a slender, skinny mule palm. Here's what I've done with everything over here. I had the croton and the mule down over there, and I looked over here. I was like, wait, there's shade over here. Put them over here. And I know this looks stupid, but it's just the way it worked out, and I kind of like the height. And I have finally found privacy for this area. So I'm going to put the other mule palm right here, and then I'll go mule palm, croton, mule palm, and this will be the nice shady acclimation harden off area. I need to pull these pothos out, all the pothos and things arranged up here on the wall. I'm going to move those before I bring that other mule over here that needs to sit and dry for probably another 10 minutes. I'll scoot it over. And yeah, that's about it. I gave the spindle a repot. It was in like an 8-inch, really small pot. Just kept falling over, so I went ahead and bumped it up into a 12-inch container that I have sitting there in a cache pot. I'm going to put citrus tone, not palm tone, citrus tone on the top of everything that I'm bringing out right now. A heavy coating of citrus tone. Water it in, because I'm not going to be repotting these for another probably 2 or 3 weeks, because I have to wait for the soil and the materials. I want it to be fairly warm when I repot them, because remember, today is April 16th. So, going to need some time to pass before I do that. And I want to get some organics and some nice stuff down there into the soil for everything to feed off of to help them get through this. I didn't see any mealies on the croton, which I don't usually see mealy bugs on this, but I remember a few years ago, they were kind of a problem. Yeah, look, so that other mule palm will be right here. It's not going to provide much privacy because, well, I mean, look at it. But hey, it's going to be a more protected site. It's going to get morning sun, the shade, all that fun. So I think that's a good spot to set these guys to harden them off. And I may go ahead and I think I'll probably paint this pot that crotons. It's not very heavy. I can lift it out of there. Maybe I'll dig some of the soil out of that urn so it sits more flush. I'm just happy with the privacy. Oh, it's going to be so nice being able to be over there and not feel like I'm like right in my neighbor's backyard, right? So yeah, that's where I am with all of this. I don't think I'm going to be moving anything else out for right now, but I have cleared up a lot of space, making things easier to work with in water in the grow space, and I'll pick up whenever I start doing something else relevant, moving the plants out or fertilizing, you know, all kinds of stuff could be happening right now. I don't know what's going to happen next. A little windy out. Forgot to mention the only reason, only reason that I use citrus tone instead of palm tone or any of the other tones is because it's just what I had. No particular reason behind it. Also, it's afternoon now and these are getting so much sun. So I may have to find a different spot for them. I'm going to pay attention to how long this lasts. Maybe they were better over here because afternoon shade is going to be better than afternoon sun. I'd rather they get the morning sun and afternoon shade than, well, morning shade and afternoon sun. That's not going to work. I'll keep an eye on them. Those are all really tough plants. It's the little ones that might bleach out the croton. It's going to drop its leaves anyways. Those things throw a fit about being moved outside. So I'm not that concerned about, oh, okay. All right, yeah, the little delicate babies. They're still in the shade. That one's getting some shade. Mules I'm not worried about. It's mostly the croton, but yeah, he's fine. Or not mostly the croton. Mostly the little guys. Croton, it's fine. Little guys, they're fine. Yeah, it's overreacting. Oh, good, wind. Look what wind did. He has his favorite spot. This is where Turbo lives now. Always on watch, taking care of the fish. You watching over him, Turbo? You watching over him? Been keeping a very close eye on him. They have come up to the surface, and he's got a chance to get like a lick and a sniff in, but he's not trying to pick them up. That was my main concern. He's pretty good with wildlife. There were, what was it, a couple toads were in the pool yesterday morning, and he didn't bother them. He, followed them around from above, and he never tried to pick them up. I was very proud of him. We scooped them up and let them go in the garden. I'm sure they're going to go right back in the pool. I have some critter ramps coming in the mail. I can't find the critter ramp that goes in here. It's gone. No idea where it went. Those are just little floaty things. There's a sandbag that sits on top up here, and then there's a netting sort of bridge that goes down. It's attached to a float, so squirrels and things, if they fall into the pool, they can hop up on the critter ramp and get out more easily. The pool's always got toads in it. This time of year, today's the 20th, yes, Easter Sunday, very early in the morning, predicting lots of storms today. Who knows what's going to happen? Trying to be prepared. And I was out here thinking, okay, I need to lower this down. Somebody asked me in a different video why I was lowering this down during the storms, and it's for wind resistance, right? So you can drop this down. I can bring this level way down, and then it's not as likely to blow away. There's less surface area for the wind to catch. But it's the 20th of April. I looked at the forecast. It goes out to the 29th at this point, and it's not showing any temperatures below like 52. That could change at any moment, especially like we've had snow very late April into early May before, but it's always very brief. And I think I just want to take it down. I don't really want to. It's Sunday, and I want to rest. But I think that this would make for less of a headache if I were to go ahead and just take it down right now. Or, I mean, even just to get the cover off and leave the frame up if I want to. Could do that and then just see what happens. Well, that's what happened here. That's like it got tied into a knot of some kind. There we go. I don't think it wasn't a knot. I think I was just being stupid. You guys ever do that? It was like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with this, and you realize that no. The problem was me. I've never tried to take the cover off of this thing. I know getting it on up there wasn't all that easy, but I also didn't follow the directions. And I knew I wasn't following the directions. It's one of those things where the directions said to put the cover on while it was leveled or at its lowest point and then lift it up. And I was like, well, how am I going to do, like, I'm not 18 inches tall. How am I going to lift it up if I do that? So I didn't do that. Instead, I put the frame up to probably about this height, maybe a level lower, and then put the cover on, and that worked okay. Getting it off, I don't know. I guess I just dropped the height down and pull. It will be nice to not be looking at this. There's so much mess around here. I have all this mulch that's been sitting around acting as... These were weights, so they were on top of the flaps to hold everything down. And then the wind eventually pulled out from underneath those like a week ago. And I don't know, I didn't want to go in and fix it. I said, that's fine. It can just stay in here. The bags of mulch were helping to keep the humidity up. I don't really think that's an issue anymore either. We're starting to enter into more of a moist environment time of year. You're not just gonna... Here we go. I didn't know he was in here. I pushed that down. He did not like the sound of this thing moving. He said, nope, I'm out. He's good to know. Turbo's apparently not going to stick around if something's going to collapse. He's like, hey. I love you. I'll bark at people for you. But guess what? If the roof's coming down, you're on your own. Yeah, so this is what I thought might be the challenging part was going to be doing this while I'm inside. But you have to do it while you're inside. Right? I need to take this thing off. This doesn't work. I'm going to find a different brand to work with next year with these things, these Govies. They have been great up until this year, and they had just turned into complete garbage. Been through 6 sensors this year, which is just insane because the other sensors that I had prior to this year, I had for like, I want to say 4 or 5 years maybe. And then 6, well, I had 3. I replaced them a second time. So I bought 3 in maybe October. Those stopped working around January, maybe February, so I bought 3 new ones. And I think only one of them works now. It's the one in the grow space. This one right here, I just get no signal from it. It's not the batteries. I've changed the batteries. The other one, I've told Giles up by the house, and it says that it's minus 1,400 degrees outside. Obviously, that's not true. We would all be dead. That would be a very crazy anomaly. Okay, how do I... okay, I should have thought this out. And now my head is on the ceiling. So, I have options. I can just leave it like this. One's not likely to blow this away, or I could just go ahead and pull the cover off. Somehow. I'm not really sure how, but I could do that. I don't... How do I just... I can just lift it? Yeah. Nothing's ever really that easy. Okay. I think... may have this. Maybe. Oh, what's it so wedged underneath? There's still something pinning it down. No, it's just the peak. The peak is the problem. Almost got it though. I just keep going this way with it. Kind of roll as I go. To make it easier to store. Even though I don't really know why I'm storing this because I'm not planning on using this again next year. There were a lot of problems with this. What is this, Work Pro or Workforce? Whatever one it was I bought. I mean, one, it broke. So this happened. For no reason. There was no tension on it. It just snapped. One of these poles would never go up all the way. It was very hard to get these top pieces to go up. Very difficult. Took me and 2 other people to pull like with all of our strength. And still one of them wouldn't go up all the way. And the plastic tore on this one very easily. I liked the concept of it, and I will try something similar again next year, but I'm not going to buy the same one. I don't know if it makes a difference even trying different brands with these things, because, I mean, they're pretty much all the same. I know Eagle Peak is supposed to make some pretty nice ones. Here's the problem. Forgot to unstrap the roof. That's why the Peak's a problem. It's all strapped up there. You know, and these aren't meant to be heavy duty or sturdy, but I don't want to have to buy a new one every single year, and that just seems really wasteful as far as the materials, the plastic is everything is concerned. So I would like to get something that's a little bit more sturdy and maybe has stronger reviews behind it. The reviews on this one weren't terrible, but there were people talking about the frame being flimsy and then about the plastic tearing easily. It is very thin. Very, very thin. I also, I have to wonder, this would get stored away in my attic, and I've stored things like tarpy materials that have this similar kind of feel and thickness to them in the attic, and then when I bring them back down, they're yellow and they're like cracking. So put them in the basement, but the basement is full and it needs to stay open because, you know, it's where you go for storms and whatnots. Okay, there we go. That's done. Ow. Hurt my hand. Look at all that mess. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of stuff to clean up out here. I'm not doing that right now. This is just a quick get that done out of the way. I don't think it was doing any good at this point. Eventually you reach a point where it's like, okay, this is just more of a pain than anything else because I'm constantly having to make sure that the windows and the doors are open. And when the windows are door open, the wind comes inside and catches the whole thing and it blows away. It's pretty hard to anchor this down when you can't stake it into the ground. Hence all the mulch and sandbags and things I had up on the front portion of it. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's even bent. That's part of the problem, is that I didn't even realize that the frame was bent over there. But that ends my review of the... This is so janky. What the heck? My review of the pop-up greenhouse is that I see its purpose, but it's also... you know, you gotta be aware of what you're buying, right? Not buying a real greenhouse. This is a plastic shelter. It can be pretty fragile if you live in a place that's really windy like I do. Yeah, I'm glad to have that done. Now I'm going to finish taking down the rest of this frame and get on with my Easter stuff, which basically means I'm going to clean the house and get ready because everybody's going to come over. I'm going to do Easter things, and then we'll be back to doing gardening things at some point, probably in a few days. All the plants I moved outside in the prior portion of this video, it's been about 4 days, and they're looking good. Oh, hold on though. If you were wondering how you put this thing away, there it is. Isn't that nice? Look at that. It has a bag that it goes in. I'm sure with some other people you could get that tarp wrapped up nice and tight and goes back into its packaging, which I don't know where it is. I have no idea. No idea where the packaging is. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to hold on to it, but I do plan on buying a new one for next year. This will be a backup. Alright, so now I have all that stuff to clean up. That'll be fun since it's stopping wet. I probably won't even... yeah, I'm not going to touch that today. Too many other things to do. I would like to make a space for things. We have all this overcast in the forecast. It's supposed to be sunny for a couple days, but it's supposed to be overcast and rainy. Supposedly the storms this evening are supposed to be really intense. We'll see about that. But I'm trying to think of ways to make more room, or where I should store everything, because traditionally I've stored things over here along the side of the hot tub, and I don't know, I'd just like to get away from that. It's only going to be a couple more weeks until I get the impatiens and other annuals start filling in the front of these beds. But for now I was thinking, why don't I just tuck the tropicals up into these beds up here? It'd be easier to water. If everything's in one spot, they'll be off of the patio, and maybe I can use stakes to support them. If so many stakes run, you can just drive a stake right through the pot, through a bottom drainage hole into the ground, and then boom. That's where the storm's blowing things over. That's why I have the First Lady up there with this Robolini. I was thinking, well, for one, I might do some pertinent on this. Just a little bit, just some of the lower stuff, just to open up some of that trunk support. You don't need to do that, I just want to. It's an aesthetic thing. Probably better for the palm to not do it. Thinking about putting that down here, I can describe that much better. With the smaller palms, I think they look nice when they're just sort of poking out of a garden bed. Then it looks like it's just, you know, naturalizing in the area. And I have wanted to dig up some of this dune grass for, I don't know, last several years, and just to keep in containers so I can have some down there by the deck, the stairs that go into the house. I don't want to put it in the ground, that takes over, but I just think just having a nice big pot of it would be really pretty over there. So that works out, right? I can dig a spot for the Robolini, probably somewhere like right here, and then I can take that grass and toss it into a pot, and then move the rest of the plants over. I'm getting ahead of myself. This should be the last thing I'm doing. I should move the other plants first, but this is what I want to do, so that's what I'm doing. Thinking that should be about right. Maybe a little bit large, but I don't think by too much. I'm gonna have to repot this. There's no drainage hole in the bottom. That and it just needs it. You can look at it and tell this guy could use a bigger container. Look how much trunk we got in here. There's how much root stuff's going on. I would rather do this now instead of pulling out in the fall and go, oh no, this needs to be repotted when it's time to overwinter it. That never goes well. Oh, and look, got a nice little inflorescence popping out there. So do my best not to disturb the roots too much. I got the grass dug up. Got a nice big clump of it here. I'm gonna find a pot for and just, I don't know, set it over there somewhere. Actually, I think I have the perfect pot. My knee touching you is my way of saying you need to move, because I'm trying to walk. Subtleties. Not always the dog's thing. Here's where it's gonna go. Gonna need to dig a bigger hole for that 15-gallon pot. Back here's my pottery overflow. It's in disarray right now. I did have it more organized, but I've been pulling through it a lot lately. I had everything all organized by size. I think that grass would look nice inside this container, and the idea is to never even see the container, but I think this would be a good one for it. It has a nice big drainage hole in the bottom too. Look at that thing. Big hole. Let's see. All my other pottery is, well, it's mostly blue. There's some gray. I'm using that for the fig though, so it's got to stay there. And I don't think a blue pot would look that good with that blue grass. Need some contrast. I am apparently doing this over here, right on the patio, instead of over there on the edge of the patio where I can hose all the dirt off, no problem. I should do it right here, right by the pool. Okay, back to it. I went in the house, realized that I didn't have my microphone on. I've been doing that throughout a lot of this video. I think I'm getting low on potting mix too. I have 4 bags left. That should be enough for this. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4. Luckily, not luck, I knew I was getting low. I ordered 12 more, I think 12 more. They were on sale, so I figured they need to stock up. It was like, I think $12 a bag. It was a really good price. Same as the Miracle-Gro. You don't get as much in these as you do with the Miracle-Gro, but I don't, you know, I've always used the Miracle-Gro and I've always stood by it, but it's got splinters in it and it kind of smells like wood shavings. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm giving this a go this year. Not saying I won't go back to using the Miracle-Gro, but something about these batches, something just doesn't seem right. And this is a good consistency. I like the way this feels. I know that doesn't mean much, but it's all I have to go off of. It's nice and dark. It's got some bulk to it. Holds on to moisture well. I've been using it in several other planters. It does hold on to moisture well and it drains well. That can be a hard combo to find. Nice about the Miracle-Gro though is that, well, it's inoculated. So it's got fertilizer built into it, so you tend to notice your plants growing really well right from the bat when you put them in there, but you can do the same thing just by fertilizing with these, right? I'm gonna grab some starter fertilizer to sprinkle down in here, fill this up, repot that guy, and stick it in the hole down there. Yep, looks cute. I like it. Looks great. I'm gonna top dress it with some sand here in a little bit. That is, by no surprise, by the way, Robolini jammed into that pot. It does not want to come out, so gonna have to cut it. I don't usually mind doing, especially because I'm thinking this is a fresh blade, or a fresher blade, so it should pop out of here fairly easily. What's that? Oh, that's not too bad. Not bad at all. I've seen much worse. I'm gonna have to lightly loosen that up, but overall, this looks pretty good. I think they got enough fertilizer in there. Jeez. Yeah, and this is, whoa. This is the perfect day for something like this. I think it's supposed to be like 80, but cloudy. I'm supposed to have off and on rain for a while. I think that also this is probably a perfect size up. So it's about 1.5 to 2 inches if it were perfectly centered all the way around. I think that's about right. That's what they usually prefer. Getting a good sniff in there, Turbo? You approve? I hope so. It means the world to me, Turbs. Thanks. Isn't this just a beautiful palm? I should finish pot. I'll handle this. Then I'll show everybody what it looks like when it's put in the ground down there. Not in the ground. I'm not going to put it all the way in the ground. Don't need to dig a hole that big in that bed, but you know what I mean. You'll see. All right. Made room have some things settled, some mulch around them. Maybe that'll help hold them up from the wind. Who knows? I'm going to make some more room to get that grass tucked in over there. And I also got this in the mail today. It's a, come on, there we go. It's a rufa, another clumping bamboo. To put, that was a terrible zoom, right there. Right in that corner where that holly bush is sticking up. Oh, and there's the palm. We'll get a better look at it another time. It's starting to get cloudy and the neighbors are outside, so I feel I'm hiding. Look at me, I'm hiding right now, so they can't see me talking to the camera. I'm gonna get this planted. I'm gonna keep doing some rearranging, and we'll pick up eventually and see what's happened. Survived the storms the day after Easter. It wasn't that bad. It was a lot of rain, tornadoes and everything just missed us. So that's good. What do we think of it? I'll stop rocking. Here we go. Doesn't that look nice? The little pot with the grass in it? I like it. I'm gonna need to tuck that back in further there. Gloomy day. I thought it was supposed to be sunny. Not looking like it. You like my attempt at mulching these containers since they wouldn't blow over during the storms? What did I get? Like half an inch of mulch around that one? It's nice and squat. I wasn't worried about that one. Figured it'd be okay. Oh, new blooms. Got the, no. Nope, absolutely not. Don't do those in this garden. Look at the pretty orange though. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I can still see it. Get out of here. Got another one over here. This is the yellow. This one has the yellow, the orange, and then that awful reddish pink one over there. And here's a better look at what I did yesterday. So yes, it does still stick up some. Got some rocks flying over the edge here. But that was intentional. I don't want it down all the way. The further down that goes, the more we get down towards the clay into the soil. I've built this up over the years and it drains really, really well at this point. But still, I like for there to be some space for drainage. So it's up. That really won't be noticeable at all once annuals and things are in place. And this grass is going to fill back out too. I mean, it's only spring, right? It's April. I think today's April 22nd, 21st. I don't know, whatever the day after Easter is. Can't remember. That's going to fill in. Won't really even be able to see the container. And I'm loving how this is looking. I don't know. There's a big truck over there. I don't know what they're doing. Making a lot of noise though. And back up and have a look at it. I just love those twisty trunks. I think they look so cute. I was tempted to keep digging and to push it down some more, but I just told myself to stop because you need to leave some room for things to breathe. That, it'd be an absolute nightmare getting that thing up and out of the ground in the fall time if I had buried it too much deeper. Well, not a nightmare, but it wouldn't have been as easy. I like to have a lip to grab onto. Over here, I have some bamboo to put in the ground here, which I think I showed another clip. I didn't get it planted because I forgot how muddy are things. Not that muddy. Oh, okay. Well, you know, that's what happens with clay. Doesn't drain that well. So that's good to know. Gonna need to put some gypsum down in there and probably do some drilling. I don't want to backfill this with the clay, which is why I never ended up getting that planted. Because I remember that I needed to buy some like bagged garden soil. I think that would be the best thing to do. What is rolling suds? That's what the truck says. Carpet or rug cleaning, I'm guessing. I feel like there's something over here I was going to talk about too, but I don't remember. Is there something happening back here? Oh yeah, gingers are coming up. That's exciting. A whole bunch of gingers popping up all over the place. You can't see them, so I guess it's probably not that exciting for y'all. But there we go. You can see it. Little ginger tip. Oh yeah, the banana didn't stand up. I like how this looks. Still lots of cleaning and stuff to do, but just moving in that direction, right? Takes time to get those balls rolled. Here's that bamboo. It's that clumping bamboo, the rufa. I think it's going to look nice back there in that corner. So I want to go out and get a bag of soil, some garden soil to use in that hole. And I need to go back to the nursery that was in last week's video. I don't know if I'll film while I'm there or not, but just thought I'd make a transition in case I do. There it is. There's the transition. I'm hopefully picking up some plants. My gosh, look at all that. This is the cat's pajamas, Nepeta. I accidentally planted cat's meow. I wanted to plant cat's pajamas. Look at that. That is so intense. And they're supposed to just keep doing this, right? Pretty much all season. You need to cut them back when you can. I know I wouldn't do that. I'm so tempted to get one of these suckers. Look at how big it is. They're pretty quick growers, so I don't think it'd be necessary to buy one in these giant containers, right? I don't think so. This place is stocked. This is nothing. So I don't have time to do like a full nursery walk through that, and they're unloading 3 trucks right now. Or maybe just one, but there's 2 others parked down the way that I assume are getting unpacked too. All tropicals, so I showed up right when they're unpacking the tropicals, but I don't even care. I got the number one thing I'm always looking for. I have 6 heliconias waiting inside, and I can't wait to take those home. But it's a multi-acre situation here. It's a nursery that just goes and goes and goes. Oh, look at all the buds in the wisteria. Oh, that's gonna be freaking beautiful. Too strong or too heavy for its support. Yeah, it's just an American, the Amethyst Falls. The only kind I trust to plant. It's big. It's beautiful. Wish I had a spot for a wisteria, but I really can't think of any. It's hard to find spots for vines when you don't have terraces and walls. Like, I just don't have a spot where I can put a lot of structures for things to climb, unless I want to drill holes in the side of my house and you know, put trellises on the house. I really don't want to. Look at the size of this maple. That container. I think it's a 200-gallon pot, I think. No, sorry, that's a 150. I don't know how I could have gotten that wrong. It's beautiful. This is the place to go if you want really big plants. Oh, this is gonna be something. Wow. Oh, I wish that was in bloom right now. Look at all the... I was not gonna do this. I was even thinking like, oh, you know what? We were just here in this vlog, or in the vlog a week or so ago. I think the vlog part of this one poked around for a few minutes, but I just can't help it. I have to show everybody. You gotta see how beautiful everything is. The sky's starting to clear up. There's some hints of blue popping out. It's just an absolutely magnificent garden center. Ooh, look at the size of this yew. It is absolutely stunning. Don't see a tag on it. Don't need it, but I mean, want, when things are that big, that's more of a want thing. Oh, I'm gonna use y'all. Need to get in here. Let me see that tag. 185. Okay, all right. Hey, you know the one I got for 70? Not that much smaller than that. Maybe a year behind those. That was a great deal, and I'm still thrilled with that deal. Look at how cool. So is this just an atlas? It is. It's just a weeping atlas trained onto an arch. That looks so neat. I love these. I usually like a Japanese maple with a nice wide habit to them, but these have a more refined shape that's pretty cool. Trombley's Red Centennial. Neat. How big does Trombley's Red Centennial get? 20 high by 15 wide. Okay, big one. Nice and big. Gets real big. And I like this lime green. Look at what color with the just tiny little flowers. Look at the little bitty flowers. Is that too much? It'll focus. Give it a second. Isn't that beautiful? Goes great against that foliage. Is there a tag? Who are you? You look familiar. The moon? Yeah. Golden full moon maple. Great color on this. 10 by 7. It's more manageable size. Could probably find a spot to squeeze that in somewhere if I wanted to. I loved when you get the little baby freaking leaves. I love those. They end up looking more like a ground cover. Look at the size of this thing. Oh, I didn't know I zoomed in all that far. Sorry. All that way. Huge. Yeah, okay. We'll go down to the end of this row. I will show y'all down to the end of this row. I feel weird when I say we, but it's become a habit that I just keep doing. Look at those dogwoods are pretty. That was nice. Come back through the shade house or something and head out of here. My God. Oh my God. Everything is just so fresh and beautiful right now because it's a fresh flush. I love this time of year so much. Oh, I need a new yew. I lost one in my front yard. I think this one might be a little bit sprawly. This looks like a cephalate. Yeah, it's a cephalate Texas. It's nice. Good shape to it, but it won't match my others. The ones I have in my front yard are just the regular Texas. My gosh. How big. How magnificent. So cool. Catalbiense. I'm not trying to say that. Not happening. Huge. That thing is a monster. So pretty. Oh. Ugh. It's sold. Never mind. I don't even want to look at it. Yes, I do. We have to look at it. It's too pretty not to. Love an umbrella pine. The Japanese umbrella pines. Gorgeous, man. I'm in the zone right now. Oh, and the sun just came out. It just happened, which means I can no longer see my screen. So, hopefully recording. Don't know. I love the variegated dogwoods. I used to not be a big fan of these. And something about them, last winter I was seeing pictures of them that some of y'all were posting on Instagram, and I was like, I think I need one. And I planted a Sergeant Pepper, and it just flushed out. I just noticed it this morning, and I absolutely love it. It's tiny. It's a little baby thing, but it'll grow. It'll be nice and get some size on it. Hinokis. Oh, this is fun. Has a red catkin on it. I guess that's not unusual for the Japanese maples, is it? I miss my bloodgood. I was just talking about that in another video. I'd like to plant another one. I just need to find one that's the right size with the right root ball. Because the spot where it's got to go, I can't do much digging. So it's going to need to settle in on its own. I want it to be big. Look at that. Never see camellias for sale out here, ever. Never, ever, ever. When I do, they're always very expensive. Okay, that was enough. It's a good sized maple with not a huge root ball on it. And it's a blood good. Oh, this is gonna be a problem. Look at that. Look at that. I can find it. I want it to go up on the hill, because I think it would be beautiful to be looking up into a blood good. It looks really good. I wonder how much this is. I can't find a price on it. It just says blood good on it. Probably pretty pricey, I'm guessing. This got some girth to it. The blood goods aren't the more expensive of the Japanese maples because they grow so quickly, but it's still a Japanese maple. So 5 to 6 foot, huh? I don't know about that. That's got some size on it. It's pretty big. Okay, before I leave though, that's what you have to, I had to show you. I'm surrounded by people and I don't even care. They can watch me record this. How freaking beautiful. I know. Do you want to get some? I do. All of them. Okay, and real quick, I'm at the hardware store. Just gonna pick up some garden soil. Here's the cat's meow. So you remember what I was just showing you, the cat's pajama? Do you see the difference? Cat's pajama, those flowers, they go down way, way, way further. These are nice, but it ain't the same. I need the pajamas. Okay, that's all. I'm gonna grab some soil and go home, and I'll load the car. Y'all, the back of my car looks absolutely fantastic right now. Got my favorite plants in the world back there, heliconias. Cecile Brunner. This thing smells so flipping good. Great climbing rose. Hey, this is an intro. No, I'm not doing that. Still in the same video. I'm at Lowe's because they only had Kellogg brand garden soil at Home Depot, and I don't like Kellogg. I don't like their stuff, so that's maybe a nice way to say that, but just straight to the point, I don't care for it. Feels like I'm buying a bag of mulch when I use the Kellogg stuff. Maybe I've just been getting bad batches. I don't know. Oh, you would be so pretty if you didn't have a red throat. It's still pretty. It's still pretty. I want to know what all these ones with the closed buds look like. Are any of those open? Look like they're orange, but I think that maybe this one just looks like it has an orange. Yeah, that's what's going on. It looks like it has an orange petal. Don't remember why I picked up. What was I going to show everybody? It's just there's more plants. Suppose it may have just been that rose. That rose smelled really good, and I thought everybody should know about it. Yeah, I got my garden soil here. When I get back to the house, I grabbed a whole bunch of impatiens while I was at Home Depot too, so there's more than enough stuff to plant up. I kind of like these. Those are nice. Well, I'm home. I only managed to pick up 6. I thought maybe there would be more. 6 is good. 6 is enough. You can't see that. I'll get over there in just a minute. I just sat down. It's been a busy afternoon. I'm gonna get all this mess handled from where the greenhouse was and everything sorted out. I've reached my point of going, oh no, too much is going on. And I don't like that feeling. It makes me not feel relaxed when I'm outside. So before I even do much of anything out here, I need to handle the mess and get reorganized. Now that the greenhouse is down, the annuals are rolling in, and it's time to start moving a bunch of the tropicals out too, which I had thought would be the point of this video, and I'm sure I talked about that at some point in this video, but I don't know. I have plenty of time to get it done, though. I just keep forgetting that this video doesn't come out until, like, what, May at some point? And it's only April 22nd. So I have plenty of time to get that done. It's supposed to rain a bunch, but I can make it happen. I want it to happen. It's easier to care for everything when everything is together, right? So what I need to do, I think, would be to find a space for potting soil and fertilizers, the organics, where I can keep those all together, and then find a place for perennials. And what I really should do with perennials is just set them where I want them to go. I think that would make more sense. And then get annuals together that it may be a moment until I can get them planted, like some of these vinca and some other things that I have to hold on to until the palm trees are delivered, which, that's from the time this video comes out, won't be for another 2 to 4 weeks. I never know when they're going to show up, but it's not usually before the second week of May. It'd be amazing to make that happen, but I highly doubt that'll happen. I think that's partially because I tend to do like the latest pickup in the year, which means that my stuff ends up going like into the very back of the greenhouse, and then it's not the earliest to come out. What's happening over here? Kitten's having a moment. Do you see her jumping up and down in the window? It must be a fly. There's something going on there. What is she doing? Cats are funny. I'm curious, and I want to keep watching, but I also feel like she's just going to keep being a cat, and who knows what's going to happen. Anyways, as I was saying, need to do some organizing, and then I can get my brain put back on straight. I got my soil and everything that I needed. We can go walk around. Have the soil, is what I was saying, to get the bamboo planted. Here's a better look at all of the heliconias. Don't they look fantastic? These are Choconianas. There was a label on that said Andromeda. On one of them it said Andromeda, but I'm pretty sure they're Chocos. Chocos tend to be nice and orange. Got a whole bunch of them, and I also grabbed 4 of these Red Sister Cordylans because they were half off at Lowe's because they have some, bad foliage on them. But that's okay. I don't mind. They're like $9 a pop. I think this is a nice pairing too, isn't it? I was tempted to say, you know what, let's forget the impatience and just dig this whole area out and put the Cordylans in the back and then have the heliconias in the front. That would look awesome. But I did that one year with the, not the Cordylans, but with the heliconias right here, and it just didn't work out. The sun wasn't quite right, so they ended up leaning and stretching. It looked funny. So, won't be doing that. I do have enough though that I'd like to take some divisions from them and get some of them popped into the landscape over here somewhere. It's a conversation for another time. Those are summer fun things. Right now, still need to finish up with the perennials. I meant to grab the bamboo while I was down there. I forgot. Well, here's what I got. Never used this brand before, but that's what I got. And some soil conditioner. Don't know much about this one, but figured I'd sprinkle some of that in the bottom of the hole. Is there still water in the hole? Yep. That's not shocking. We had several inches of rain in like, what, a day and a half? So it's going to take a while for things to dry out. Anyways, that's where things are right now. I am so excited about these. Aren't they just fantastic? Getting the heliconias is usually a struggle for me every year. They're hard to get a hold of. I've had to order them the last few years. Last year, I don't remember, it's Nature's something, and the year before who I'd ordered them from. Last year, they withheld an order from me and never gave it to me. They just took my money, never gave me my plants. So, not ordering from them again. I was able to get them locally and just call up this nursery and say, hey, here's what I need. They put them on their next truck. I love that. So, here we go. 6 of them. I guess I could always get more if I needed them, but I think that I need to be happy with 6. 6 in this size is more than I've ever been able to get locally, ever. I've gotten a whole bunch of the smaller ones before, but that was late into the summer. This is great timing. Having them this early in the year, I'm going to be able to do so much more with them. Because, you got to give them some time. You plant out a heliconia and they take a moment to get moving. And these guys, they're really nicely established. Those pots are nice and firm. They're going to do a lot this year. The lighting's horrible on these. Oh, that's okay. You'll get better looks at them. Now, this is going to be my focus, is going to be this whole situation here. To get this tidied, to find the top of, where's the top of the, why is there no top to the fan? What the heck? Huh? Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, it was windy, storms, tornadoes, all that stuff. That's why, all the mess. Well, the mess here is from everything weighing down the edges of the greenhouse. Now I can pick it up and get the blower out here, clean everything off, and this is just, I don't know what to do with these. I don't like them. They're so ugly. If they'd keep their green, it'd be one thing, but they won't. I will have talked about that in the garden tour, which should be the video prior to this one, I think. I don't know. Just something else I realized, that the video that everybody will have seen before the garden tour, the greenhouse is still up, and most of these plants aren't out here. The things were actually, I think, more on the clean side by the end of that video, because I hadn't gotten a whole bunch of new stuff in, and then had the storms, and there was less mess. So that's going to be interesting. I'm almost wondering, would it be better, should I just take all the new stuff and just hide it away somewhere and then do the garden tour and bring it back out? That way everybody's not like, hey, what the heck's going on here? Because if I leave it and then I have to say, well, you just have to wait for the next video to see it, then it's like I'm being a tease, and I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable. But it's also just the truth. When you're ahead of filming, that's just the way it goes sometimes. I'm overthinking things. Never mind. What I need to think about is cleaning and organizing. There we go. I didn't really say I was doing a before and after here, but here it is. This is the after. I'm sure you remember just moments ago, this was over there and there was filth everywhere. I came in with a power washer and got all that gunk off. This is the best I could. There's still some gunk, but we're just gonna be getting more gunk. So I said, it's okay. I said, it's fine. Gonna get to it. I'm gonna be moving things around, planting things for a while. All those bags of mulch, I had been saving those up along with a pile on the other side of the yard because I wanted to mulch in this hill over here. It was getting kind of raggedy looking. There used to be mulch on there, and it had just been a couple years since I had thrown a fresh layer down. So I went ahead and I did that. Got all the mulch put up. I did make sure when I planted both of these, have them up high enough to get a good layer of mulch in here. By these, I mean the Sgt. Pepper dogwood and then the El Nino Chitalpa that's back there. It still needs to level itself out some. I used the hand rake, but you know, it's hard. This is a good 4-inch layer of mulch, so it can be difficult to really smooth it out, but it'll get smooth. It'll look nice in no time. It's still gonna come in here and mulch and handle a bunch of stuff in this area, but this is good. Moving on to getting a nice hill garden that I've been talking about wanting to do for a pretty long time in passing. I never talked about it in depth, but that had been the plan. The plan to build the shade garden over here and then to get a path that winds through over here. You have the hill garden right here, and that path would come through right here, turbo, and go back up to the tortoise garden, tortoise pen, whatever you want to call it. No tortoise in there right now. It's not quite warm enough. And I don't usually mulch this, but I put a decent amount of compost, you know, 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, just lightly on top, and sometimes work it in just a little with my fingers on top of the soil. Ultimately, I need to come in here and do some other things to tidy it, but the main thing was I needed to handle everything that was over here. This looks so much better, doesn't it? I think this is where I'm just going to keep the potting mix for right now. Not right there. I'm going to have to move all that. That was just, I needed to get it out of the way so I get the power washer going. This table's big. Maybe hard to tell in the video, but it's an 8-person thing, 8 feet across. It's huge. A huge table, so there's only so many places you can scoot it while you're power washing. So I just kind of piled things out here and I put the tarp over everything, which did an okay job of keeping them clean. But I still need to consolidate. And I have more soil. I just had a whole bunch of soil come in the mail, so I have another like 10 bags in the driveway. It is great. There's plenty to do and lots of need for the soil. Yeah, the patio's starting to look like the patio again. Well, that makes me so happy. This all is going to need a fix up. Haven't figured out what I'm going to do with these containers yet. Don't really want to keep the bamboo in them, but I don't know. We will see. I just think it looks terrible. I probably will talk about that a bunch in the garden tour, which should be the video prior to this one. Whew. Almost lost my balance there. Now I'm trying to think of what else I could move out. I moved out the big Dracaena yesterday. I'll show you that in a moment. Last night, I just had a wild hair and decided to go ahead and get that moved out. I'd like to get the Eureka Palm moved out, but there's so many storms in the forecast, but that's not really going to change until late June. So yeah, I should probably just do it, right? Another reason I piled all the potting mixes and things over here is because the Eureka Palm goes right in front of those. There have been many occasions where having some extra pots or potting soil right behind where the Eureka Palm goes has saved that plant from shattering, from the container that it's in from shattering, because it's very top heavy. It's blown around very, very easily. So I think that that's a good spot for the soil for now. We had a nice cushion for the palm tree, and I'll go through my pile in the driveway before I go to the others. Look at him. He never gets up there. That's new. I'm glad. One of the reasons I got that furniture over there wasn't just for me, it was for the dogs. I put outdoor dog beds out here. They never use them. Toby too, he was part of the equation. Not with us anymore, but It wasn't until maybe a week or so ago, he was standing in front of that pond that's over there, and I told him to move because I can never see the pond. He's always hogging the view. And I told him, I said, hey, get up, come on, get up on the furniture. Go ahead, you're free, get up there. And he did it, and he seemed unsure about it. I had never told him he couldn't get on the furniture, ever. He's allowed on the outdoor furniture, it's fine. I would much rather him lay or sit up there than on the hot pavement, you know? It just makes more sense. And like I said, they don't use, he has never used. Toby was not usually crazy about the outdoor dog beds. Sometimes he was, sometimes he wasn't. But that's good. I'm glad he's up there. You know, he's a big dog too. Their joints are very delicate. Don't really want those laying on the ground. So he's over there enjoying his view of the pond. Good for Turbo. And actually, whoa, a heck of a zoom. I've been thinking about it. Maybe I should just go ahead and get the rest of the big guys moved out. I put the Eureka Palm over here. It's where it has always gone, and that's where it's going to stay. See, it's getting some afternoon shade, which is good. I don't acclimate that one to the sun. I never have. It should get acclimated to the sun, but the Eureka Palms take a long time to adjust to the real sunlight. I'm talking like a couple of months. I don't do that. I just bring it out. Some of the fronds fry. It's fine. I cut them back, flush out new ones, and it's okay. This has a bronze hue to it for a while. And then the what was I going to talk about? I've lost track of what I was saying. Where'd my thought go? Monstera. I could bring that out, and it could go right here or right there. And then I still have those two big alocasias in the grow space as well. Those, I think that's it for the big stuff. Everything else is small, right? I brought up some coconuts last night too. They're over here hanging out in the shade. Look at the Dracaena. I need to come in here and get all the pine needles out of the crown in there. This thing has just been loving life. Look at how big. It's getting so tall. It had some dead stuff on here. I went ahead and I pulled that off. That's normal. Usually have to do some of that. I left some of it on, so you know I'm talking about these things right here. It's come right off. Not a big deal. Plant's perfectly healthy. Got a little bit skinny. I erred more on the side of keeping this dry during the winter time, so that's why it's got some inconsistency in the girth in its trunk. You can tell, like, okay, so this was winter, and here's summer. Oh, it's getting skinny again. Oh, that must have been winter. Better safe than sorry. I'd rather the trunks be kind of wonky on there than have to worry about it rotting out. They're very prone to rotting out when you have them inside. It's gotten huge, really big. This thing's way above my head now. Oh, and I also picked up a few impatiens when I was doing the whole thing at the nursery. I ran by Home Depot to get that garden soil. Grabbed a few impatiens to get planted up in here. Oh, did you guys hear that? Did you hear that? The bugs are back. They're trying to fly in my mouth when I'm talking. Spring. As far as the big things go, Eureka Palm. This thing sucks to move out of here. Monstera, and then, yeah, I guess the two big alocasias. That's about it. I mean, there's a lot more to move out, but I'm just going with the big stuff first, and we'll work my way back to the smaller things. The things on the shelves, a lot of those are going to be more tender to the cold, and right now I'm using every bit of shade I have to acclimate things. So I'd like for them to have another week or so, and then I can move those where they need to go, and then bring out more small things to put into the area. This is the first thing to do is the Eureka, but I don't want to look at it. It's not going to fit in here much longer. I've been saying that for years, but it's getting to know that ceiling pretty well. Woo! That one's tough. This is usually the hardest one to get onto the dolly. So you got a few mealybugs up here. Not terrible. There have been years where this thing has just been infested. The years when I tried to use the natural predators to get rid of them, and then the mealybugs end up taking over and just destroying all my plants. They don't do that anymore. Straight up name now. Name and soap. But a few of them, not that big a deal. I'm not seeing any spider mites. But yeah, there's some bugs in here. I'm gonna have to clean those out. That's okay. It's not too bad. Oh, baby, you're gonna have to move. Turbo, you gotta move. I have a very narrow path to work with here. You're right in the middle of it. You're right in the middle. You gotta scoot. You gotta scoot, Turbo. Good boy. Good boy, Turbs. How did I end up stuck over here? I had to get underneath it and push the thing through. And now it's... Oh, now it's in... I don't know. Nice thing about it, this cart being at an angle, is if you can find some trunk, you can usually just gently push it along. There we go. Yeah. Works. Yeah, we're cruising. Something smells like onions. Hopefully not me. It shouldn't be me. I don't think it's me. My gosh, look at how big this thing has gotten. Kind of on the scrawny side. That's normal for this time of year. I cut back on watering about a week ago. So it's Thursday. I don't want to move them out when they're dehydrated, so it's not quite to that point, but it's approached it. Oh, this is going to be satisfying. Got all the dead stuff from the winter to clean out from the inside. Just getting ahead of myself, really should go ahead and get this put away first, and I didn't clear out a spot for it, so didn't think that through. There we go. Smooth landing. It's always the most nerve-wracking part, is setting it back down, because then you're fighting against gravity. It's supposed to be over there, but I don't actually hate it right here. That might be something to think about in the future. Well, not really. No, because I won't be able to see back there into the tortoise area. I couldn't quite get the dolly turned in just the right way so I could put it right where it belongs, because it's getting caught up inside the umbrella. But that's not a big deal. And just scoot it. It'll just slide over. See? Here you go. You can watch. See that? There we go. Very easy. Going sideways, just a couple feet. That is something that can be managed. It's when you gotta move it more than like 10 feet that I get concerned. Okay, look at that, right in that gap. Perfect. I do want to get something on the side of it though. I do not want this thing to blow over. It's even got a little bit of a wobble to it actually. Must be a stone or stick or something underneath there. Have to figure that out. But hey, I'm just happy it's out here. Yeah, I mean, forget about all the stuff. You know, it's the garden channel. Always gardening. Gonna be supplies laying around. Can't have a shed or anything like that in this neighborhood, and the garage is full. For now, I'm gonna do something about that in the future. Oh, it feels so nice to have this back outside. I've missed my Areca palm. I should water this in very quickly. Probably. I'd rather get all the other plants moved out first. You know, I'm thinking this is morning sun over here. Maybe let's bring the other big guys over here, because that end over there is totally full. Can't really squeeze much else over into the end with the mules and the big Dracaena. It'll make it really difficult to water everything. So maybe I just fill in this spot. They'll get really bright morning sun, but shade in the afternoon. And you know, with the alocasias, it doesn't matter. They can drop their leaves. They'll put out new ones that are acclimated to the sun within a week. So that really doesn't matter. The Monstera, different story. The Thai, you know, it grows pretty dang slow. So I'm probably going to tuck that way back there, kind of behind everything if I can. This is better. It's making me happy. This Monstera, it's got some very interesting growth going on. And that's what they do. When they get to be a mature size, remember that. Anytime you're buying one of these as a house plant, when these reach that size where you have these giant fenestrated leaves, their growth habit is wild. I haven't heard a single plane all day, and as soon as I hit record, they show up. Yeah, they go crazy. The form on them is just, it's nuts. They're all over the place. And this one has been growing with a leaf direction as if it's been crawling. You generally get bigger leaves on these. If you start them out, let them crawl a little bit, you get bigger leaves on them. A little tip for you. But this one's not crawling. I think that it was taking me too long to get it upright. And that's why it's doing this, right? So if the ground were right here, then that's what we'll be looking at. So not the most desirable shape to the plant, but you know, hey, whatever. I'm hoping that you don't have any backstory here. I probably will have given it in the garden tour, but I've been slowly pulling the main stem up to the support to straighten it out throughout the winter time. I've just been tightening that rope a little bit more and more. I have it on a few different connections on here to not snap anything. And it's getting more vertical now. Because prior it was sticking out like this far. This was all way over here, and it was very difficult to maintain that shape with a pot. It just wanted to flip over. But anyways, I'm thinking that new foliage that comes out should start facing the right direction now that we're starting to get more of a vertical direction, but I don't know. It's a unique, fun plant regardless. Alocasias, they're looking great. That's all. That's normal. It still looks great. That's not a big deal. And we're flowering. Has some inflorescence on here. There were a couple of leaves that had mealybugs on them. Let's cut them off. Toss them to the yard waste. The tight lid on them. That's not a big deal. So the nice thing about the alocasias is when you move them out, you can't just cut everything off and then just let them regenerate. When they regenerate, they're hard enough to being outside. Love that. I'm going to give them a go and see what they do, because these were both under a spot that had some ceiling fans right above them. It wasn't a ton of air movement, but it was some. So I'm just curious to see how much of a difference that's made with them. Otherwise, I would just chop off all the foliage and probably just go ahead and pop them in the ground right where they're going to go. But for right now, this area is barren, and I kind of like having something over here. These are doing it. Look how small the leaves are. They're so cute. So tiny. Tiny little Borneo giants. This just to being outside, the leaves on this are unbelievable, and I can't wait to see how big they'll be this year. Because remember, when I got this plant, both of these plants last year, they weren't even this big. But maybe the start of them was this big. There was a video where I talk about Borneo giants. They were probably about like this offshoot right here, and then within a single season, they did all this. And yeah, you can clean all this off. It'd be a good idea to do that. They got that sloppiness in there. But they're already starting to get that pseudostem trunk on them. These will get a little pseudostem. We'll call it a trunk. That's not really what it is. That'll come up several feet with all the foliage above it. Huge, massive leaves. Makes me so happy. I can't wait to see those grow. This could be a problem. And then I did end up moving some of the smaller things out too, just because I had to. They were in the way. Maxillaria tenuifolia, that's out here. I want to say Yang bromeliads, but I don't remember if that's what they were. But here they are. There's one right here, one right there. I had one of those in each of the Miami planters. It's these two big blue planters right here last year. I went and I pulled them out last minute during the fall and brought them in. They overwintered very well. I did nothing with them. Just let them sit on the plant shelves with everything else. And they did fine. There's some brown stuff to clean off, but otherwise looking pretty good. Elastica's out here in desperate need of a repot. Two of the Aphelandras and just some other, just little things that were in the way of being able to get the bigger things out of here. If I'm going to pick them up and they're okay to be brought out, I may as well bring them out. So that's what I did. Joe Hoke. Agave. Love that agave. Started to build up a little corner over here with the bromeliads. And then this is a Thrinax palm right here. And the variegated sea hibiscus, which it was just done. It did not want to be inside anymore. I've had a heck of a time keeping this thing hydrated in there. So it's time to bring this outside. And then the Dracaena reflexa, which I believe it was this video, right? We talked about this? I think we did. Well, it's now the 24th or 25th. What day is it? I don't know. It's way into when this video started. Many days later. The forecast is looking good. Up into May. Might be some chilly nights coming up. But if so, that's not that big of a deal. This guy snapped out. It's okay. Cut it up, stick it back in the soil, and grow a new one. Not that I'm going to remember to do that, but it's nice to have that option. I have still left some of the smaller things inside because they are more delicate plants. So they're things like the Alba Monstera. I'm going to wait a little bit longer on that one. That's partially because it's tangled up with a bunch of other things that I'm wanting to get more root on. So things I planted during the wintertime, I like them maybe have another week or so inside before I move them out. And that way I can let some time pass and be able to move some of the things that have collected over here to acclimate. Give them a week or so, get the smaller things moved, and then bring another load of small things out. I think it's probably the best way to do it. You know, in stages, move the small things out after the big things. If the big things have a little while to acclimate. This is the ginger. Tahitian flame, maybe? Can't remember. That's weird. I can't remember your name. You're one of my favorites. I've just been doing too much. That's what's going on. Divided this in the winter time, and this is how it's been doing. Kept this all winter long, even kept the inflorescences on it. Has one growth that's about ready to come off. Not about ready. I could cut that off. This is the last one. I'm going to take this plant, move it into a shadier spot, and say done for now. It feels so nice having the plants outside, just about ready to go ahead and start getting on the planting. I have several annuals that are ready to go into the ground. By several, I mean quite a few, over here. A lot of these are going to go into containers. That's why they're sitting here. You need the containers to show up with the big palms in them to plant some of these things up. As far as the perennials go in shrubbery, they're just hanging out here. I started to move them because I should place them and plant them. But then I was like, oh, they're kind of adding some privacy, so they can stay. For the time being anyways, didn't think that would hurt anything. Said anything, didn't think that would hurt anything. I got some of the mess tidied over here, not really, but configured some of the things. It's a process, right? So I end up getting one space cleared out and then clean that space up, move everything back, and then now I have a space where I can move all this stuff out and get that space cleaned up and move from that point on. I think that, is it me? I think it's me. I sprayed some WD-40. It's not WD-40, but a similar product on the wheels of the dolly. Oh, I'm probably smelling it from the dolly. The dolly's right there. I forgot about that. Anyways, it's a smell that gets stuck in your nose. I'm not a fan of that stink. All right, that's good. I had to go back through all the footage and count up where I think the recordings were like 73-ish minutes. I did that math very roughly looking at everything. I think that's enough. We've done enough in this video. We got to go to a nursery, pick out some plants or whatever it was we were doing there. Oh yeah, the heliconias. Got those heliconias, which I'm so excited about. Thrilled. It may not have come across that way because there's so many other things going through my head. It was bugging me, all the mess that was over here where the table was. And then knowing that I had to get all that mulch down, that mulch was sopping wet and the hill was muddy. That took a while. It was about 22 bags, which isn't that big, but they were sopping wet. And the bags were from last fall, so the plastic was falling apart on them. It was messy. Glad to have it done, though. Feels good to have that done and to have some of the plants moved out. Just so good to have that ball rolling. Starting to feel like summer out here. Yeah, and at that nursery where we were before, I may have gone back and gotten a few more plants, and I've been trying to keep them out of frame. We'll talk about them next week. There's already so much that's been going on in this video. I think that more plants it's going to have to wait for next week. I don't like to be a tease like that, but I don't know what else to do. The video would be another hour long if I went through everything that I picked up. So I went to that nursery to pick up the heliconias, all the tropicals and things that I had ordered and been waiting for. And then had to go back for some other things. And then I hit up another nursery that had some other things that I had ordered that came in. So there's a lot of fun stuff that's going to be going on, I think, next week. Yes, I believe so. Next week. That looks freaking horrible. How embarrassing. You gotta get down here to look at it. That's all right. It'll look better someday. It's just gotta, get its growth angle straightened out again. I could, I suppose, take the container and weave it around behind this so that all that is turned some more, but I just don't care enough because the bamboo's so ugly. So it's fine like that for now. In fact, it might actually be better for it being shaped like this because the bottoms of the leaves are facing the sun instead of the tops. That might be helpful. My main thing is I want it close to this umbrella so I can scoot the table over some more to help shade it while we're waiting for angle of the sun to shift. Another 2 weeks or so into May. It'll be a little bit lower in the sky. That's going to help a lot. Oh, and I found some of the foam. I'm going to use that on that planter from the pond video. We can't see that from here. Can you? No, I can't see it. Well, this is what I'm going to be using to try and get that thing to float. It's ridiculous that it doesn't float, but hey, it's not that big a deal. I don't think it's squirting some of this underneath that cover. I don't know if I'm going to do it in a video because it doesn't seem worth it. I'm going to add some foam to the foamy thing to make it more buoyant in the pond. That's all. Went off into a whole nother thing. All right. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Hope everybody's doing well, having a great day, great life. Everything's just going absolutely beautifully for you. What a great shot. Comment down below, say hi. I love talking to you. What's going on in your gardens if you've gotten some of the things going with your perennials and maybe moving past your spring annuals into your summer annuals. That's something I'm really looking forward to, and I'm very happy that I've gotten all the perennials, for the most part, the majority of the perennials handled that March and April. Now I can start doing the fun, colorful stuff. All right, as always, and most importantly, everybody, set that up. It just keeps falling over. I'm about to repot it. Keep on growing. Bye-bye.